Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 18 of the It's Obvious Gaming Podcast. I, of course, am your host, Preston Pugh, and I am joined by my two best friends, Garrett Drake and Jacob Alka. How we doing, boys?
I'm really fucking awesome.
Wow.
I'm bored.
Starting off the show with that profanity.
Yeah, you know it.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, our episode's 18.
Wow, 18.
It's considered a legal adult now.
Yeah, you're right.
The
show is officially old enough for a lot of things.
For a lot. You can't
Already
drink.
movies, cigarettes.
Yeah.
You can buy that tobacco, though.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
But
a
buy
fat
rated
one in.
video games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally, it's about time.
It's growing up. It's
It
getting
is.
older.
Speaking
I
of,
know.
that was a
Brings a tear
huge
to my eye.
milestone. What was the first M-rated game that you guys bought?
Not bought, but rented with SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs.
I bought Assassin's Creed, the first one,
Yeah.
with my Xbox 360, and Gears of War, the first one.
Yeah,
Those
Gears
are
of
my two.
War was my first.
The first one I ever
I
bought
didn't
with
know
my
you played
own
the first
money.
Gears of War.
Mhm.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I rented it, so.
Okay. Well,
First one I ever bought with my own money was Red Dead Redemption. The
I
day it
remember that.
came out, it was May 18th. I don't know what year that was. I turned 17 that day, though.
I remember
Yeah.
that.
Was it 2009? 10?
Yes. I don't remember. That was a while ago.
No, it was after that. It had to have been.
What a great game to start out with, though.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
Fantastic
It's one of
game.
my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Game's
great.
so good. Well, guys, this past weekend was 4th of July.
It was.
It was.
Happy 4th of July to all you Americans out there.
Americans,
Yeah?
certainly.
What'd you guys do?
Worked
You
all
worked?
freaking day.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Holy crap.
Actually, I think
Yesterday
all of our
sucked.
friends work except for you and me,
You're right.
which
Our
is ironic
girlfriends
because
worked.
I
We did.
always work weekends.
Yeah.
I don't think you do.
Were you guys not open?
No,
I do
I
not.
do.
4th?
We were not. We were open the 2 days before that, but
Yeah.
yeah, July 4th we were closed.
I feel
What
like
did you
y'all
guys
have
do?
a big musical shindig on the July 4th.
I think he knows.
Yeah.
I think it's because they know that like everyone would rather be out watching fireworks and stuff. So
That's the thing. Like, we
Probably.
weren't busy because everyone was just at home.
really,
We had a lot of takeouts, though.
I hear.
Oh,
I don't know
for
how
sure.
it was Friday night, but Zach told me Jim and Nick's on Friday nights are usually the night before July 4th is like insane.
Yeah.
He didn't tell me how it was this year though.
I wasn't there, so I don't know.
I don't know.
I didn't work Friday.
But yeah,
We
I
had-
spent the day at your house with your family. Our family spent the day together.
Yeah. And it was fun. We had barbecue as well.
Yeah, his dad
Cool.
whipped up some mean. Was that pork we had? I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah, we had pork ribs and pulled pork sandwiches on
Wow.
potato bread buns.
Yeah.
It was
Wow.
delicious.
I'm
Where did that
jealous.
barbecue sauce come from?
I don't know.
It was
We bought
so
it.
good.
From the store.
Yeah, it was
It
very
was good.
Some good old fashioned homemade barbecue.
Oh, yeah. Really good. Got it. He just bought a smoker for the occasion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Had
Yeah,
it
you were
out
telling
there.
me about his
Yeah.
smoker.
Yeah. It was really good. You can tell a difference big time as opposed to like grilling the
Yeah.
ribs and stuff.
Certainly.
But yeah.
Yeah, that meat
Smokers
was
are
just
great.
fine.
Oh, yeah.
Fell right off the bone.
Absolutely.
We had some smoked chicken today at my house.
Oh, yeah.
Since we
Ooh.
didn't really like eat yesterday because I was at work, we
Yeah.
kind of celebrated today.
Cool.
So yeah, it was really good.
Sounds good to me.
Smoked chicken is great.
Sounds good. Well, I hope our viewers had a fantastic July 4th as well.
Hope you smoked something,
Yeah, smoking a lot of stuff.
Yep.
Like chicken.
whether it's food or other
not
things.
the illegal
I guess.
stuff. Smoke the chicken.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think the whole time, other than eating food and watching people in your neighborhood shoot off fireworks, the kind that used to be illegal but are now
Yeah.
legal,
Yeah.
we just talked about how we could improve this show the entire time, basically.
We just sat in
Like,
a-
what else can we do that we're not currently doing to make our viewers enjoy their experience
So we've decided
more?
we're getting rid of Jacob.
Yep, he's leaving.
Finally, yes! But anywho,
Is that my cue to leave?
sure, dude.
Okay.
Whatever.
See you later.
That was loud, probably. Yeah, our sound bars just went like boom. Anywho, but of course, this is the It's Obvious Gaming Podcast, the show where my two best friends and I get together every single week to discuss video games. Obviously, right?
Obviously.
Sure. Yeah. This past week, Nolan North was in an interview, and he was asked numerous questions, but he said one
Numerous questions.
One interesting statement. He said, I don't think this is exactly what he said, but he basically was like, "Yeah, The Last of Us 2 is being made." And this is the first mention of it,
Right.
like ever. I think Neil Druckmann, the creative director down there at Naughty Dog, that was in charge of The Last of Us and is now in charge of Uncharted 4. He said, that they were, throwing ideas around and stuff like that. So
Right.
this is probably the most concrete thing that we've heard. They asked Troy Baker, and he said he denies anything. He said he doesn't know anything.
Wow.
So I'm assuming it's being made. It was
Yeah.
received, very well. I mean,
Yeah.
if a game's being called, one of the greatest of our generation, they're probably going to make a sequel about it.
Right.
But I wanted to ask you guys, I know me and Garrett have talked about this pretty extensively when the game first came out, but does The Last of Us even need a sequel?
It doesn't need one, but there can be one.
Well,
Technically,
how successful it was.
technically,
I mean,
Joel and Ellie's story, you could argue that yes, it does need one, and then other people, like I'm sure you and I and Jake would probably agree that I would prefer it to be just done,
yeah, I
their
prefer
story
it just to be
specifically.
done, but
Yeah.
But
they kind of just left you hanging there, though. I mean,
right, yeah, but, at the same time, I thought it was
I
kind of.
liked how it ended,
also
though,
was
yeah.
closure to me. It depends on how you perceive it, but
Yeah.
the ending. But in regards to a sequel, you and I were just discussing this. Neil Druckmann himself has said the only reason we would ever make a sequel to any game or any story is if we had a very good idea.
Yeah.
And no, I know in what did I say? I didn't say Nolan. I said Druckmann.
Yeah.
And in Druckmann we certainly trust. I mean that man knows what he's
Absolutely.
doing. He's the man. So if they have a good idea, I'm sure it's in good hands.
Yeah.
To say the very
absolutely.
least.
Yeah. I kind of go back and forth. I really like the way it ended.
Yes.
It was very, and spoilers for The Last of Us if you absolutely don't want it spoiled.
Mhm.
But it left, you know, like you said, it left kind of, it tied everything up, but then again, it left, you know, who knows what happens to Joel and Ellie after that.
Yeah.
In my head, I presume they just go on living.
Yeah.
But if they do a sequel involving those two characters, I would love it to just start right after.
That
Like
would be
it
cool.
literally
Yeah.
just ends where like the screen was, and it just continues.
Yeah.
that would be
That would
perfect.
be really cool.
Fades back in at the beginning and they continue down that hill
Yeah,
there
where she
going
just
down.
goes, okay,
Yeah.
and then they just continue off from that. That'd be really cool.
That would.
It would also be cool to tell a story from, you know, somebody else's perspective during
Certainly.
that world that they have.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That would be really cool because I think you know made a point. Typically in you know games that start off like amazing, and this involves games and movies, it's always, you know, impossible to reach the same heights of the first
Right.
one.
Certainly.
So there always is that, you
That's-
know, predicament.
Mhm.
But
That's kind of why I don't really want a sequel. I'd rather just have a new IP from Naughty Dog.
yeah, but
I know that's kind of changing the subject, but
I mean, not really. I mean, it was, you know,
or at the very least, I want something different from Nolan and Ellie. That's her
from
name. Right?
Nolan. No,
What's
Joel.
Joel? Joel and Ellie. Sorry,
Nolan.
We were talking
Nolan.
about Nolan.
Nolan.
more.
Yeah, that's why I
That's
was thinking
understandable.
Nolan.
But
They're both very bland names when they come off the tongue, like
Yeah,
Nolan, Joel.
I've never.
Nolan.
Do you know
LA.
anybody named Joel? I've never met anybody named Joel.
No.
There
I
used to
haven't.
be Joel that lived across the street from me.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow. Well, cool.
Hmm?
Yeah. Well, typically, you know, with any other developer, I would completely agree, you know, about that. But Naughty Dog has never done anything bad ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally never. Maybe, you know, in their early stuff, you know, their stuff wasn't like as good as it is now, but they've
Right.
never made a bad game.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like you said, if anybody was gonna, you know, make a sequel to this game, of course it's gonna be Naughty
I
Dog.
completely
but
agree,
I
yeah.
completely trust Neil Druckmann and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, is there anything like you really didn't like in The Last of Us that would you like improve, like gameplay wise?
Not at all.
Not at all.
I thought it was
I kind of agree with that too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just not a huge third-person shooter guy, but I mean,
You know what's
the
funny?
gameplay
I
was
hear
fine.
so many people say that.
I know, that's why I was asking y'all if y'all felt the same way.
I've heard
because-
people literally say that like shooter should never be anything but first person. I've heard people say that.
Mm,
Zach's one of them.
why?
I don't know. He just he says it makes him feel weird how you're like looking over someone's shoulder and like zooming in. He says it makes him feel weird,
Man.
which I can understand where he's coming from. It doesn't affect me at all, but I can understand why that would kind of mess with someone.
I guess
If you play third-person shooters enough, specifically the good ones, Gears, for example, is
Yeah.
a very good example. That is a very, very good third-person shooter, developed very
Mm-hmm.
well, in the sense that like I didn't even think twice about it being a third-person shooter.
no, I mean, if a game's
So-
good, a game's good. Like
Yeah.
I don't really, you know, alienate a specific type of game. Just well, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Like, I'm not just gonna look at a game and be like, oh, it's, you know, a third-person shooter. Therefore, I don't care, you know, if it's good or not. I'm just not gonna
Yeah.
play it.
Yeah,
Like, I kind of think that's kind of like closed-minded when it comes to, you know, like.
you should be more open-minded.
I know.
In
When
this nation we live in.
I know when I said that, I was like, oh, that sounds stupid.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, when it comes to like, you know, this type of stuff, you understand what I'm saying.
I know.
Like, I mean,
what you're
even
saying.
like strategy games, I don't particularly like them. But
Mhm.
if one's available for me to play and I just hear it's amazing, you know, I'll at least give it a try. Like, I'm
Right.
not just gonna, you know, completely condemn it just because I don't particularly like that type of game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but no, I've read a lot of stuff about people bashing Uncharted and The Last of Us due to its generic third person, like not very tight gameplay and stuff like that, which I have a feeling that a lot of that derives from it just being so good and popular that, you know, there's always people that are just wanting to hate on it just for that reason alone. So, you know, I completely agree. Like, I felt like the gameplay in The Last of Us was absolutely phenomenal. And if it was kind of sluggish or slow, it completely fit that game type. I mean, you're not some like Marine, you're not some like trained army soldier. You're literally an old
survivor.
dude that's learned to survive, and he's putting Molotovs and scrounging all this stuff together like in his backpack, and you know, he might not have the best aim ever. I mean, it is, you know, until you like upgrade it and stuff, it is a little, you know, slow. I mean, you're not going to be popping off headshots like in Call
I would
of
prefer
Duty
that
and
way. It
stuff.
kind of stresses me out more, especially when we played on the hardest difficulty. I literally did feel like I was surviving.
Oh yeah, for sure, especially
great.
in the stealth sections, which they did the stealth phenomenal in that game. Naughty
really
Dog's always been good at stealth. You know, stealth is very good in Uncharted games, and they just went crazy with it in The Last of Us. So I'm very interested to play some of the more stealthier sections in Uncharted 4, because I'm sure they learned a lot from The Last of Us,
certainly,
in terms of that gameplay aspect.
Yeah.
But I think story-wise, like we said, I would definitely like to see them start off, you know, where Joel and Ellie left off, go back to Tommy's, you know, whatever village or whatever the heck it's called. But I'm very, I don't know. The second I saw The Last of Us 2 next to it, it just made me happy. I don't know.
I wonder if they'll actually call it The Last of Us 2. That sounds weird to me.
Yeah, I feel like it'd just be... I don't even know if they'd call it The Last of Us.
The Last of Us, Ellie and Joel's story continues.
I'm trying to think of what else they could name it other than The Last of Us 2. That just sounds weird.
I just feel like they wouldn't even name it
The Last of Us 2.
What else would they name it?
I don't know.
Something else.
Naughty Dog never does. I mean, there's Uncharted 2, there's Jak 2.
I feel like those make more sense, though.
2.
I feel like those make more sense, though.
I bet you.
But those are like
is
proper
very,
sequels.
it's almost like an artsy type title. Like, I don't know.
I
That's
bet
my
you it's The
point,
Last of Us 2. I bet you that's what it is.
I mean, I'm not trying to make bets. And
No.
compete.
I mean, I'm not
saying-
either. I'm just saying.
I'm
I
just
have a
wondering what they
feeling
could
that's what
possibly
it's
name it
gonna
other
be.
than Last of Us 2.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I think they're probably going to just call it that, just to keep, you know.
I hope they surprise us by not doing that.
By just the second.
Yeah, by not having Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
I'd like to see
Well,
something
I mean,
different.
I don't really think it even matters what it's
not
called.
really that big of a deal.
It's not a big deal at all. They could call it like, you know, The Last of
Joel's
Us,
Adventure again.
You know, Adventure or something, and I'd be all over it. You know.
Regardless, I'm sure it's going to be phenomenal.
Oh, no doubt. But yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Certainly.
that was cool, I guess. Like we've already talked about, Last of Us is a phenomenal game, and I'm excited. So
Absolutely.